All right, let's get this show on the road. If anyone wants to move up to be more intimate, feel free. I know it's only 8. We won't do crowd work with you. We won't embarrass anybody. But welcome to the Minnesota Spice stand-up comedy show. Thanks for coming out here to support live comedy. We appreciate it. And big thanks to big thanks to Welch's Big Tent Tavern. He's always been a big supporter of live comedy. We've got a lot of shows here. There's open mics. There's a lot of other stuff that goes on here. So feel free to come back. I heard the food's good, but I'm vegetarian, so I only try like 1 or 2 items usually. The pizza's good. But we're gonna have a wide variety of comedians with spice beyond just the salt and pepper crowd. And you'll find that comedy is better than therapy because it helps you forget about your problems, whereas therapy makes you remember your problems, right? Don't tell Jesse. Okay, he's a therapist. But does anybody have anything they've celebrated recently? No? Okay, that's good. Does anybody have a job they hate? You do? What's your job, sir? Or, sorry, I couldn't see. I can't see. Okay.
I work in human resources.
Oh, okay.
I don't blame you.
So what do you do at HR that's so painful?
I hire people.
You hire people? You'd rather fire them? That's more fun?
Well, and you deal with disgruntled people too.
That's a big
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I see.
I handle that a lot.
And you do paperwork, and you're an expert at ghosting candidates when they apply?
Pretty much. Yeah, 23 years.
I think we've all been through that a little bit, right? But that's great. Well, thanks. It's a necessary job, so thank you for doing that for whatever company you work for, Acme Incorporated or whatever company might be. Well, that's good. So, but thanks again. Just, try to be courteous and try to laugh. Try to bring out your most supported laughter to fill in for all these people who didn't show up in the middle, especially from Meetup. We invited like 12 people from Meetup said they'd show up, and only 4 lovely ladies showed up in the corner. So they are like the hardcore. Thank you. True fans. But you guys might think I look familiar. And it's not because I look like a cross between John Lovitz and Ray Romano. It's because of my YouTube channel. It's kind of a big deal. I have 190 subscribers. So, thank you for subscribing, sir. I appreciate it. That's another 190. I got him a plaque already. So it's really nice of them. But in case you're wondering, I am not from around here. I was actually born in India, and I came to the U.S. when I was 4 months old. That's when I lost my accent. I can still do one, but I do not use it unless it is absolutely necessary. Like when I want the tech support guys to understand me.
Yes.
Works out pretty well. But on the bad side, I have become a victim of cancel culture. My social media handle is Haha Masala, and that's a true story. And Facebook won't let me use it because the letters in the middle spell Hamas. Actually true. But this is like 5-6 years ago, before the recent activities. So can you believe it? They actually think I'm a terrorist. But I mean, I shaved and everything. But I can't be a terrorist because I'm a vegetarian. I mean, I can't even kill a spider. And besides, I want to advance in my career, and successful suicide bombers never get promoted. That's also a true story. But when I fill out forms that ask for my race, I get tired of checking the box for Asian or Pacific Islander. I think Indians deserve our own checkbox.
I think so too.
Yeah, I agree. Because we're different than East Asians, like Chinese people,
Yes.
right? We win spelling bees. And we suck at the Olympics. And sometimes we're CEOs too, but that's a different story. Let's see, but gosh, sorry, I've had not the right amount of beer. I apologize. But because I'm Indian, I get racially profiled all the time. At restaurants, people pull me aside and make me figure out their tip. Very nice. I'm good at math. And I'm technically Asian, right? And I'm a good driver, but my friends don't believe it. So they don't let me drive anywhere. The upside is that I get to become the designated drinker. But I get tired of people who think I'm not American because I'm not white. Those are the people who say things like, "This is America, why don't you speak English?" Well, if you want to judge Americanness by English skills, then based on my ACT verbal score, I'm a hell of a lot more American than those guys. And then I travel quite a bit, and I realize that the whiter a city is, the better a dancer people there think I am. So that's also a true story. So that's a theme, lots of true stories. So in New York City, I'm a beginner. In Minneapolis, I'm advanced. And in Chaska, I'm an instructor.
Yes.
But I was on Instagram the other day, and I posted a comment about how people in Minnesota don't accelerate quickly enough to get on the highway to merge smoothly.
That is a big.
Yes, see, transplants know that. Like they do in other states I live, Ohio, New York, and Michigan. And of course, a guy from Minnesota commented and said, "Why don't you go back to New York, Ohio, or Michigan?" And I thought, that's refreshing. He only wanted me to leave the state. He didn't want me to go back to my own country. So he's either mildly racist or he's a statist. I'm not sure. But I'm getting older because I'm still alive. And, I'm running out of time to get too much older, right? But it's getting to the point that now eyebrow, nose hair, and ear hair maintenance is a thing that you got to keep up with.
Oh,
So it's an appointment every Friday morning at 7:30 with my nose clipper. Yeah. I just thought I'd share that. I think I did a pretty good job today, though. You know, in case you can tell. You can check later.
Careful inspections.
That's right. But I've been playing soccer since I was 8 years old, and I tried to play in a tournament 2 weekends ago, 4 games in a weekend, and that was painful. And I'm realizing that through the years I've had so many injuries in all my joints that at any time during a week I can have a random joint just starting to hurt. The good thing is that every new injury helps me forget about the pain of the other injuries before it. So it's kind of a new strategy for me. Just try it. But I really struggle with a lot of etiquette things today. You know, when you deal with other people, you don't know what to do in certain situations, right? So when you see somebody you haven't seen in a while, somebody will say something like, "Hey, Kathy, you look great," right? But that's so superficial. Why is it about looks, right? I think you should say something like, "Hey, Kathy, you still seem to have a nice personality and pleasant demeanor so far."
So far.
And then if you meet somebody new, you have to say, "Nice to meet you," right? But I think it should really be, "We'll see if I regret meeting you." And they can say it back too, I suppose that's fair. And then, because I'm vegetarian, I go to restaurants that aren't necessarily, and the waitress will typically give you a list of all the specials, right? So it's like steak tartare, lobster, whatever, and chicken marsala, and then they go on, and I don't know what to do as a vegetarian. Should I stop her from going through her repertoire, or just let her finish, you know? I usually just let her go, and then I feel guilty that I wasted her time, and got her hopes up that I'd order some expensive meal, because there really aren't that many expensive vegetarian meals out there. Gourmet tofu's not even a thing, as far as I know. But then, the other thing that I worry about is like on the technology side, when you're talking to somebody on text, and they give you a thumbs up emoji back, that's their way of saying, "I kind of acknowledge you, but I don't have time to write to you more, so I'm just gonna give you a thumbs up emoji." And I think that's kind of annoying. So I just give them a thumbs up emoji back, and that really throws them off. Try it. And then I was on a flight from Tokyo a while ago, and this young guy, maybe like 20 years old, was sitting next to me. And it was a long flight, so he kept falling asleep, but he kept letting his head like fall over on my shoulder. And it happened like many times, and at one time it happened for like multiple minutes, and I didn't know what to do, right? On one hand, I didn't want to wake him up because I thought that would be inconsiderate. And then I thought, but maybe he'd be mad if I didn't wake him up, right? And I didn't want him to think that I enjoyed it, but I did, because he was like the son I never had. In the tender moments. He's in my will now. So, really bonded. Good, I'm glad you like that addition. And I'll end with this one before we get on to the other comedians. When you're a guy, speaking of etiquette, and you're at the urinal, evil ladies wouldn't understand, but there's like a short divider between you and the next guy who's also peeing, presumably. You never know what to do or say. I figured out that the only appropriate thing to say is nice shoes. You definitely don't want to say, what religion are you again? That's inappropriate. I tried, that didn't work out too well. All right, thanks everybody. That's my time. Are you guys ready for some more comedians? All right, great. Well, our next comic, we found him on the streets of Chernobyl. And he's surprisingly talented. He's kind of become an up-and-coming person around here. That's just a joke. He's actually from Colorado. But, gosh, I forgot your new nickname. It's Raymond Joseph, everybody. He has a real name, but that's his stage name. We just knew. It's a fresh new stage name. Welcome him. Give it up.
All right. Yeah, not from Chernobyl, guys. From Traverse City, Michigan originally, so it wasn't the radiation that got me, it was the pesticides, No, what I have is a rare birth defect called Apert syndrome. I'm a pretty normal guy though, aside from the lazy eye, crooked nose, snub fingers, and webbed toes. A lot of times when people hear I have webbed toes, they make the same joke. They go, "Can you swim fast?" Yeah. Cleaned up in the Special Olympics. My dad had the syndrome too, and the doctors told him before he had kids that he had a 50% chance of passing the syndrome down. I think it had to have been more than a 50% chance though, because when you think about it, webbed toes, you guys, my sperm was swimming laps around those normal-toed sperm. My dad does have a 50% chance of passing it down. I also had a 50% chance of passing the syndrome down, which is why I got a vasectomy, because I don't want there to be a 50% chance of me hating my child. It's all right. I was fortunate to be born into a loving family. It was myself, my dad, my younger sister, who also has the syndrome, and then our normally formed mother. As you can imagine, her self-confidence was through the roof, just flaunting her dexterity in front of her 3 mutants, opening up pickle jars, eating with chopsticks, It's fine. Growing up was a little bit different for me. I took classes with all the other kids in school, but about once a month I'd go see a counselor. She'd make sure I was adapting all right and I didn't have any learning disabilities. It wasn't until about junior high when I had a conference with my mom, the teacher, and the principal. They said, "Ray, you're adapting just fine, if not better than most of the other kids in school. We've concluded you no longer need special educational services." To which I responded, "I'm in special ed?" Because I had never heard it labeled that way before, I always viewed it as some sort of counseling. And I guess the point of the story is I'm so stupid, I didn't realize I was in special ed until I graduated from it. I don't want to stand up here and act like I've got this sad life. I'm a pretty happy guy, I got a good family, good friends. I get to travel on occasion. I happened to be in Hawaii on my 30th birthday. That was pretty awesome. I was mostly excited about taking a surf lesson. I'm a big snowboarder and I had never surfed before. So I was pretty stoked when we got into the shop, but apparently the company was hosting a family in need that day because they looked at us, they looked at me, and they go, "Oh, you must be the Make-A-Wish family." We're like, "No, not the Make-A-Wish family. We're the Joseph family. We got a 2 o'clock reservation. We'd like that for free now, please." Make-A-Wish. You guys, I graduated from special ed. Let's see. I'm pretty stoked for the show, you guys. Thank you for all being here. I'm pretty amped up. I stopped at Starbucks on the way in. A big Starbucks fan. I like to swing by on my way to work. But every day I freak out a barista at Starbucks because they go to give me my drink. I stick my claw out the window, and they kind of panic. They don't know what to do. I'm like, we'll get through. Just rest it on my pinky. We'll roll it into my palm. We'll get through this together. They eventually give me my drink, but when they do, they make the same face an adult makes when they're about to let a toddler walk for the first time. You know, it's kind of like, okay, here you go. And then another adult who's seen me before is like, no, you can do it. Watch. You know? You guys are really nice. I'll tell you a few more things about me. I've had a lot of surgeries to look this good. One was a skin graft where they took some skin from my groin, they put it in my fingers. The thing about skin in your groin is eventually it starts to grow some hair, right? So when I was like 12 years old, I started growing these random hairs in my finger, and it's embarrassing, right? I like to get rid of them. I tried a few different options, you know, razor and a trimmer. But what I found works best is I just use a lighter and I burn them. And it's just what I do. But one time, my roommate walked in on me doing this, and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what does it look like? I'm singeing off my finger pubes.
Seriously?
Yeah. Well, I'll show you later. I had a skin graft. I also had a bone graft. Where they took some bone from my rib, they put it in my forehead to prevent my skull from collapsing upon itself.
Oh, that's
yeah,
a good idea.
that standard surgery that my mom told me everybody has. I remember before the surgery, I was like, hey doc, I heard you putting some of that rib in my forehead. How about you put some of that rib in my dick? Now, ladies, a rib for your pleasure.
All right.
That one wasn't real.
No.
Ribbon. I was buying condoms one time at a Walmart, and I was at a check stand with the cashier, but my credit card didn't work and I didn't have a way to pay. And it seems like English wasn't his first language because he was just reading everything he saw on the screen. So at one point he goes, do you want to abort this transaction? I said, I don't want to abort anything. That's why I want these condoms, you know? I'll leave you with one more. Yeah, I gotta be careful when buying condoms because I'm allergic to latex. So I gotta find these alternative condoms. They make polyurethane and lambskin. But I remember when Trojan came out with their bearskin condoms. I was like, bearskin? That's freaking manly. I went out, bought some bearskins, got lucky one night, slapped one of those bad boys on, ended up in the hospital. Yeah, doctor's like, Ray, bear is spelled B-A-R-E, not B-E-A-R. So they gave me a Benadryl and diagnosed me with dyslexia. My name is Raymond Joseph. That is my time. Thank you very much.
All right, let's give it up for Ray. You guys are mighty. You sound a lot louder than you really should be. It's amazing. But he's 1,000 times better than most comedians you find on the street. That's for sure. But okay, for our next comic, we got somebody quite a bit more experienced. He's performed comedy internationally. He's been on TV shows like Divorce Court, I believe. It wasn't his divorce, somebody else's, I presume. But he's a good friend of mine and kind of my comedy mentor. Let's give it up for KJ the comedian. Yeah! Give him some love, more. He needs it.
Give it up for Atul. He found me on the streets too. Hey, thanks for you guys coming out. Man, it's a pleasure to be here. All you, this sexy AARP crowd in here.
That's what we are.
Hey, I am too. I'm a young 43 plus a sexy 10.
All
Do the
right,
math.
there you go.
That joke is 7 years old. Who gives a shit though? Just means I get a discount at Golden Corral in a thrift store.
Oh, right There you
Are
go.
you on your phone? What are you doing?
I know.
Go out there and do
No,
a private
no,
conversation.
I'm being robbed. I apologize.
Going outside. You can-
I'm not really on the phone. I'm just waiting for someone.
Oh, okay.
Seriously.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a fucking great start. Got one of the Golden Girls on the phone and shit. God damn, I'm happy to be out the house. Where the married people at? Clap if you're married. I can just feel the enthusiasm. God damn it, marriage ain't nothing but a glorified house arrest program. I know, because I'm in it. I got an ankle bracelet on me. It's called a cell phone. It tracks my location. It knows my whereabouts at all the time. And then I got a probation officer at home called a wife. Yeah, we got some inmates that pop in and out. They call grown-ass kids. Maybe y'all got some of them too, inmates that pop in and out. Yeah, so my name, I have an African name, spelled Kelechijaavaid. Yeah. Yeah. Don't even try to pronounce it. When you drinking, you can't even pronounce it. I can't pronounce it. But I love it when the bill collectors call and mispronounce it. They like, it's Kaliki Babiki Kabida. I'm like, hell no, you don't live here. When you find that son of a bitch, you tell him he owe me some money too. And I went to Africa to learn about my culture and where my supposedly people came from, and I was all excited. And we was in West Africa, Ghana, and I met some of the tribe people. They walked me up a mile up into the tribe where the Ashantis and the Igbo people. These are supposed to be on my ancestry, AfricanAncestry.com, and I was all excited to meet them. Stuck my hand out, and they like, my name is Jim and John and Frank. I'm like, God damn. Why y'all ain't got no African name? Oh, we trying to get to America where you at. I don't know why you come way over here. We want to get to prosperity. We want to pop bottles and spank booties. Yeah, then they tried to sell me wives. They was selling them like, yeah, you can take her back. She's worth 10,000. She's worth 5. She's worth 2. She's free, she eats up all the crops. They trying to sell them to me like they're on Groupons. I didn't know you could have as many as wives you want in Africa, but I had to tell them, no, I declined, man. I'm still paying on the one I got in America. Yeah, what else is going on? Yeah, I do comedy all over. I've done comedy up the street from here. Maybe y'all heard this place called Coon Rapids.
Yeah.
Y'all heard of that?
Yeah.
Who names a town after a rat to offend black people? Yeah, that's an unusual place. They had a disease called MTTT. You know what that stands for? More tattoos than teeth. Look like an episode of Duck Dynasty, Honey Boo Boo, Swamp People on meth. Yeah. Yeah, they had a community like this right too, like back there. Y'all see the trailer park when y'all rolled up in here? How many people first time in here? Okay, y'all seen that trailer park over there, yeah.
Aw,
You didn't?
don't Taylor trailer park.
Yeah, okay, well, watch when your ass go out and turn to the right, you see it.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
No.
No, are you scared of your own people now? I'm just having fun. This is a comedy show, right? Yeah. Just having fun, man. What else is going on? I got a son that's in college. He's at the University of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He came home and he shocked me. He said, Dad, I want you to buy me a car. I told him what my dad told me. Son, I want you to get a job. He's like, why you can't buy me a car? And you know what? Your parent and sibling, your parent and child relationship is based on the experience your kid gives you. Would y'all agree with that?
Yeah.
So you can't sugarcoat it with him. So he wanted me to buy him a car. So I told him what my dad told me, I ain't buying you shit. My son said the same thing. I said, well, he said, because if I buy it, you won't appreciate it. And matter of fact, this is what my dad told me. It was hilarious. He said, look, basketball season coming up, you better drive them goddamn new Reeboks I bought you. Drive the new Reeboks 10 shoes. He called me. I'm not going to be explaining this goddamn joke. I thought this shit was hilarious. Told me I need to drive my goddamn Reeboks tennis shoes. So I told my son he need to drive them Nikes I just bought his ass. Yeah. And then he asked me for some dating advice. He said, Pops, you know, I'm a little socially awkward, but I want to start dating and I don't know how to really approach girls. I was like, you must still be a virgin, son. So I told him, I said, you know what? Dating is like picking a car to drive. Like like some people say buses, but I like to give the analogy of cars. Like, for instance, I said, son, if you pick a new car, you gotta look out for it, you know, because it's gonna be fast, it's gonna be sleek, it's gonna be shiny, it's got a lot of torque to it, it's a fast car, you know. Only thing about new cars, son, is that when they break down, it's high maintenance. Then I told him, I said, you can get you a used car too. I said, hey, they reliable cars too sometimes, but you got to check the Carfax on them. See how many owners they have. And then I told him that you can lease a car. You know, you can't go over, you can't dog it, you only get a certain amount of mileage every year, but you can lease it, and every year you can turn it back in and get something different. And then he asked me, what kind of car what kind of car is mom? I said, well, your mom was a new car when I got her. But she a classic now. She only bring her out on special occasions, you know. Just, you know, it's old school, it's vintage. Your mom is, you know, it's vintage, it's classic. And he said, well, Dad, what kind of car you had when you was my age? I said, well, son, I forgot to tell you about one car. I had a rental car. I get it on Friday and turn that motherfucker in on Monday with no responsibility and unlimited mileage. So that was my father and son pep talk. I hope y'all like that. He's a good kid, man. He's a good kid. He wanted me to take him to see a rapper called Future. I know you. Where the older lady goes, she probably ain't never heard of Future. But anyway, I looked up the price of this rapper. He's a very popular rapper, but we would have to go from Milwaukee to Chicago, and I looked up the price to go see Future. The tickets was $400 and $500. I know. And I had to make an honest assessment, so I told my son, you know, son, I love you, but you're gonna have to wait till the future to see Future. God damn it, ain't no future in it right now. I'll do a couple more things before I get out of here. What else is going on? I had some new stuff I wanted to try. I went to hot yoga. Anybody ever been to hot yoga?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot yoga is very interesting. I was in there. I was in down dog. Y'all know what down dog is like this?
Yeah.
Y'all hip to that? But see, I was in the back. They put me in the back because I was in the front, and some girl that was big girl in the back was complaining she couldn't see the instructor. Yeah, so they put me in the back. They put me in the back, and you know, I can't help it. I had 2 6-feet parents, and I wound up being 6'6". You know, they put me in the back of the class, and you know, I was doing good. I was a down dog. I'm sweating, and then this lady just cut one like. Like, God damn, bitch, that's loud as hell. And then she just said, oops, she didn't say excuse me or none of that. And I was like, hey, lady, you might need to go to the bathroom or check your yoga pants. I mean, I come in here to release toxins, not inhale toxins. She just blew one up in my face, like, and thought nothing of it, talking about, oh, it happens all the time in yoga. I was like, this is my first yoga class. I don't think I'm coming back. One more thing, 1 or 2 more things and I get out of here, man. You guys are fun, man. I'm having fun with you, man. I do this last little thing. I know all this. This is just my set list. I can leave you with 1 or 2 choices. I can do a joke about being a doppelganger of an NBA player, or I can do a joke about Lisbon, Portugal. How y'all want me to close this out? Come on.
Lisbon. Both.
Uh-huh.
Basketball.
Basketball?
Basketball.
Basketball? Basketball. Okay, I'll do that. I'll close out with the basketball one. All right. Okay, actually, in 1989, I was playing in the NBA Summer League in Los Angeles. We had the pre-draft tryout. I was excited, 25-year-old, and I had 2 teams of interest, Minnesota and North Carolina. And I remember I had an auntie, some cousins, and family live here. I called my auntie. I said, hey, auntie, how's Minnesota? She said, oh, you love Minnesota. The white girls love brothers. And I said, I'm on my way. And I got here and I worked out with the team. And then there's a player that looked just like me. His name is Sam Mitchell. He works for the NBA TV today. He's a color commentator. He's an announcer for the NBA TV. So me and him look just alike. And so I'm new to the city, 25 years old. I say, I'm a big Prince fan. Clap if you love Prince. Clap if you like Prince. I'm a big Prince fan, so I wanted to go see where he made the famous movie Purple Rain at the club called First Avenue, downtown Minneapolis. So I decided to go down there. My auntie gave me this this fur coat. She works at the thrift store. She said, put this on, it's gonna make you look like you got money. I was like, all right, auntie, all right. And it was fly. I was looking good. It was fly. So I get upstairs in the famous club, First Avenue. I'm upstairs having a good time. I got my fur coat on, the fur hat to match it. I'm having the time of my life, and then out of nowhere, this is what happened. Prince walks up to me, puts his hand out, and says, hey, Sam, I love your game. And in that moment, I said, fuck it, Sam, I am. And then Prince said, hey, man, why don't you come on out to the studio, we can play a little basketball and play music and see my 2 lady friends over there. They'll take you and they want to hang out with you for the whole weekend. I looked at Prince for the whole week and said, man, come on, they're going to take you, they're going to drive you, everything. So the lady said, let's go. I said, let's go. So I went and we played a little hoop. Prince can play basketball. People don't know that, but he can really play basketball. And then he played music till about 5 a.m. Then afterwards, the 2 girls grabbed me. They said, hey, you with us, we got you for the whole weekend. I said, let's go. They said, let's go. Yeah, we got to their place and they put on some porn. I was like, wow. And then we made porn. Yeah. And then in my mind, I said, God damn it, I know Sam Mitchell wish he was here tonight. Yeah. I had my first threesome with Sam Mitchell. And look, check this out. 20-something years later, I'm at the gas station with my wife, and somebody's screaming, hey, Sam. Hey, Sam. My wife looked at me like, I think she's talking to you. And I was like, my name ain't Sam. And my wife said, and then she said, hey, Sam. Hey, Sam again. My wife, she definitely talking to you. And then she walked up to me, tapped me, and she said, hey, Sam, you don't remember me back in the day? I said, oh, I don't know you. She said, I remember you. One of your balls is bigger than the other. My wife looked at me like, yeah, motherfucker, one of your balls is bigger than the other. Where you know this bitch from? I like, hey, baby, you know, before I met you, I fight the player off the court too, you know. I probably was a better player off the court than on, baby. Maybe if I worked on my own court game, I'd be in the league, but yeah. And then later on that night, my wife come to me, she said, so, you was quite the guy back in the day. She said, let's do some role play tonight. I said, well, what character you want me to play? I want you to play the 25-year-old Sam Mitchell with 2 pitches. I was like, well, who you gonna play? Who you want me to play? Well, I want you to play the young Pam Grier, Freaky Friday. No. She said, Pam Grier, you mean in Jackie Brown? No, that she was older then. I want the younger one. I want the one in Freaky Friday, you know, when she was making all the Hollywood black exploitation. She said, let me look this up. I like, yeah, look that shit up. And yeah, that is the Squeezing Hulk. To my Sam Mitchell story. Thank y'all so much. Oh yeah, hold on, wait before I go. If you want a t-shirt, because I'm tall and you might be tall and you might be whatever size you match. This t-shirt means love yourself in whatever size you are. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's very inclusive.
Well, thank you for your analogy. I should take you on the road and let you just say that every time I get ready to say one. Thank you. My name is KJ. If you want a t-shirt after the show, I'll have for you. Thanks so much. Let's get a little tool. We got a great rest of the show for you. I appreciate it.
All right, let's give it up for KJ, the comedian. He's always puts on a good show. I frequently get mistaken for an NBA player as well. I don't know if you've heard of him, Spud Webb. He's like 5'4", I think. I'm a little taller than that. So that was nice. Yes, so we have a couple more comedians left. The next one is, he is like a comedy workhorse locally, and he produces shows. He's a great comedian. He started the St. Paul Funniest Person contest this year.
Oh, nice.
And he's become a friend of mine as well. He's funny. Let's give it up for Jesse the Shrink. Yeah, more. He needs it. He doesn't have a little therapist.
Thank you.
Well, this is our practice for the next time, Bert. This isn't the last show we're going to be doing together, that's for sure. Oh, fuck.